that nigga, he don't care about you, yeah. Girl, move on. He can't treat you like I do, my money too long. I got homies for your friends and we can group on. We are early, hit our shot like Curry. Bitch, I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you, yeah. I want you, yeah, bad, yeah. Bitch so bad, I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you, yeah. I want you, yeah, bad, I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop, yeah. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you, yeah. I want you, yeah, I wanna shoot. Girl, you too bad for me not to press you, yeah. Young fly nigga, I don't follow all these rules, yeah. Bitch, I'm making tunes, I ain't missing, I won't lose. Let's go to an island where the water around is blue. I got two bad bitches in the coupe, 42 in the bottle, glasses on full too. Ain't no games, I ain't playing, I want you, yeah. Take a trip, let's go shopping, I got blues, yeah. We got options you could choose. Yeah, you want it, I can buy it, ain't no rules, yeah. I'm just saying, let me help you upgrade you, yeah. Fuck that nigga, he don't care about you, yeah. Girl, move on. He can't treat you like I do, my money too long. I got homies for your friends and we can group on. We are early, hit our shot like Curry. Bitch, I wanna shoot like hoops while I'm riding in the coupe. I got what you want, it ain't nothing but a loop. Don't listen to friends, they don't know what's best for you, yeah. I want you, yeah, bad.
Hello everyone. This is Omar from the Third Rail. I hope everybody's doing fine. Thank you. We got a good show today. Do we? Yes, we do. Where are we? Yeah, there I am. Why am I so like that? Why? Yeah, we got the flag all around me. I didn't do that on purpose. What is this? What is that? Yeah. Anyway, we should have a good show today. I hope we do. I just got to see what's going on with my camera. That I didn't do that. Why? Why I'm loving you. Let's see, hold on. Okay. So why? All right. You know, you prepare for everything. You think everything's going to go well, and then you do something you don't even know what it is. Especially an idiot like me who doesn't know anything about the computer. But today we got a great show today. I hope you hang out with me, man. We have the ceasefire in Lebanon, and we're gonna show you by the thumbnail why that's why I don't look so handsome. I forgot my glasses. All right, now I look handsome. I'm gonna show you the Israeli army is a coward. It's cowardice. That's why they destroy so many neighborhoods. They kill so many children. They do that because historically they've always been a lie. The 6-Day War, the 10-Day War, the 1948 war, the lightning speed of the Jewish military, the strong, the brave cowards. They're all cowards. Only cowards kill women and children. Only cowards do that. You know what I'm saying? Americans, we don't do that. We did that, either by mistake or by the drones when we were stupider. But I don't think we do that. I just have to see what I did wrong. Why am I so rounded today? You understand? If not, I'm going to get rid of this. What's going on over here? What is going on? Yeah, okay. This is my camera, all right? Full heightened, burrito camera. Okay, great, huh? Let me see what this virtual background is. Okay, I don't have a green background. Okay. On there. I don't know what's going on, man. I really, really don't know how to change this. But I'm going to go with the flow. There's no other way to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's no other way to do it. I don't know why I'm right in the middle today, but anyway, I hope let's go with the show, we can't delay the show. Whatever happened today, we'll fix it the next time. First of all, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. you know, I think Thanksgiving is tomorrow, though. In my point of view, Thanksgiving should be every day. I mean, we don't need to have a holiday just for Thanksgiving or to give thanks to God. We are people who believe that the God, the Creator that we believe in, is our Savior. And, you know, everybody's going to get together tomorrow for Thanksgiving. They're going to be, they usually say that they have the argument. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't eat turkey at all. I haven't ate turkey maybe in 18 years or 15 years. I just don't like the meat. It's harsh and it's dry. You know, I always go for the chicken when I'm over there. You know, I always go for the chicken, man. What did I do wrong? I got to fix this. I just don't feel right, you know? Don't feel right, man. I don't want to be in the middle, you know? Anyway, Lebanon had a ceasefire, and you had Joe Biden, the zombie, came out and took credit. Oh, American brokered peace. You didn't do shit. If you had any power or any balls or any energy or DICK energy, you will have a ceasefire. Let me see this. Did I mess this up? A ceasefire in Gaza where it's really needed, where people are dying every day. As you watch, you know, it is a shame what you're doing, Mr. President, because you have no power. Let me see. It's a problem. We got a problem here, guys. Yep. Okay. No, cancel. Okay. I just don't like being in the middle, man. I'm going to have to shut this thing down and come back. What's this? Okay. Oh, okay. Same thing. Why am I like that? Why am I rounded? What did I press? Oh, I know what it is. You know, Streamlights be adding a lot of stuff here. I know you're going to, don't go away, man. Just wait. I got to fix this. I can't be going like that. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not happening. Let's see. Okay, let me change. Okay, I think I pressed something. Oh, that's not it. Okay. It's not it. Let me see. Okay, this is more, right? Okay. It's a little different. It's not round, right? Let me get, I don't want the, okay. No. Nope. Huh. I figured it out. But I'm still in the middle. That's all right. You know, that's all right. You can see the background. It's all right. What you're doing is all right. I'll forgive you. Huh. Let's see. Is there any more, man? All right. Anyway, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. This is better than that wrong thing. I didn't like it. I felt uncomfortable in it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, let's get back to our business. All right. My name is Omar. I'm from the Third Rail. This is my channel. I have 2.7 dead subscribers that I don't know what they are. They're someplace in there. They don't comment. They don't do anything, but that's all right. You know, that's all right. We're going to be all right. So the reason I'm saying that we had a ceasefire with Hezbollah and Israel. Now, you have to ask your question: why will Israel make peace, go into a ceasefire with Hezbollah while the northern part of Israel is still emptied out? There's no resident. That was the whole objective of the war. They did kill their chairman, Hassan Nasrallah. They killed their top leadership. They had that gimmick with pages. You know, they felt good for a while, but by nature or by the Israeli soldier is a coward. Historically, the Israeli soldier is a coward and has always depended on overwhelming force to have those lightning victories. What are the objectives of the Israeli military? It is to put collective punishment on the residential and civilian population in order to squeeze out a victory in the battlefield, because they don't want to go face to face. There's a book I have, I forgot the name of it. In 2006, when they had the war with Hezbollah, they thought they're going to walk into a cakewalk. They're going to fight the same Hezbollah they've been fighting with the AK-47s. They're not prepared. They're not planned. These people in the tunnels, they were all over around. They were inside trees. As soon as the Israeli infantry went in, they took a beating right away. And they ran away. Then every time they introduced they refused to fight. The Israeli military had to arrest their own soldiers. They arrested them and took them to jail because they refused to fight face to face. That's why if he saw what they did in Gaza, now the Palestinians are not well armed. They have like whatever they got it off the black market. They make their own weapons and they still fight them 14 months later. And they were so scared of fighting them face to face that they had to destroy the whole city, 80% of the city, schools, churches, mosques. They just killed men, women, and children. 18,000 children have been murdered, and the average age between the age of 5 and 9 years old. That's why they're cowards. They're cowards. In the 1948 war, they like to boast. Well, when Israel declared its independence, all the Arab countries attacked Israel, and by the power of God, we rebuffed the Arab army. There was no Arab army. When people read, there was no Arab country. They're all under colonial rule. Syria was still just coming out of colonialism, or still was. The Egyptians were not organized. It was still under the British rule. They just came out. So all the Arab country was where they were inside the infant state. They had no real weapons. And the Zionist movement had prepared more than 80,000 Zionist fighters who fought in World War II in their own units. So they had a lot of training. They had planes. They had tanks. So when the Arab armies, these ragtag Arab armies came, with these muskets, they blew them out the water because they were all the time, they were guaranteed by Western powers, they will always have overwhelming force. They've been doing that for the last 76 years. On October 7th, the Hamas took over 22 towns, 11 military complexes, like places. They were defeated. That's why the United States, France, they all ran to the rescue because they collapsed. That's why the military came and killed everybody. The Israeli military had no stomach to fight street wars. They don't do that. They don't fight street wars or trenches. They're cowards. So what they did is they bought the Apaches, the American-made Apaches, and they just killed everybody with Hellfire missiles. You'll probably be saying, Omar, give us the proof. I'm going to give you the proof right now. When the Israeli, the Jewish state, the Jewish supremacist state, first told us there were 1,400 people that were killed. Then they revised it to 1,200. Then they revised it to 1,150. You know why? Because the Hamas fighters and the Israeli citizens, they were so burned together in cars, they can tell the difference between the citizens and the Hamas fighters. Because why? Hamas does not have that kind of military power to burn down people to that you cannot see them. You understand? It just doesn't happen like that. So that's why. And the 1967 war, the 1956 war, a lot of people don't know. Everybody said the Arabs always been attacking Israel. No, Israel has been attacking the Arab countries. You understand? Hello, what's up, man? As soon as I saw the YouTube logo, I got scared. I said, they're going to come here and shut this Arab down because he's talking about Israel. Because, you can't talk about the Israeli state. Iran holding back, or is it incapable of retaliating with reception? Yeah, you have to understand, my friend. I don't know. I didn't see your name. Is imperfect citizen. Hey, Hawaii. When Middle East countries are fighting, they're not fighting Israel. They're fighting the United States of America. You understand what I'm saying? They're not fighting. Israel could not defeat ragtag Hamas. They're gonna defeat Iran. Maybe if they use their nuclear weapons, they can. Iran, the Iranians. You took me off the subject, but the Iranians, the Persians are people of wisdom. They play chess. They don't play checkers. They play 3D chess. They know when to hit and when not to hit. Those attacks that they did on Israel, they were orchestrated, and the United States was told 10 minutes ahead of time. You saw Netanyahu running under the ground, and you see Iran and Hezbollah. They're very careful not to hit civilian targets. You see how smart they were? They only hit military targets, and they hit them hard. They destroyed some of the F-35. The Iranians hit them hard, but the bases in the Negev desert. So people say, well, Iran is scared. No, Iran is smart. Now, you got Trump, who's a fucking cowboy. I voted for him, by the way. He promised us an America first, and he gave us an Israeli first government. So Iran is not afraid, but it's not. The reason you have a ceasefire, my friend, imperfect citizen, because the Israelis were taking a lot of punishment on the battlefield. Yes, they were destroying houses and homes and neighborhoods with F-35s, but 350,000 military personnel could not even go in 2 miles into Lebanon. They went to a couple of towns, empty towns. Every time they went in, they got hit real hard by the Hezbollah fighters. So the 1956 war was when the Egyptian nationalized the canal, the Suez Canal. Israel just got involved. They just came across Gaza and went into the Sinai, while the French and the British attacked. It's called the Trial War against Egypt. That's what defeated Britain, because Eisenhower told me, better get the fuck out of here, excuse my language, get out of there. Don't do that. And the 1967 war, the Israelis say, well, it was a preemptive attack. The Arabs did not even know. They destroyed Egypt's Air Force while their planes were not. There's nobody on the planes, because they had a plan to take over the West Bank and Jerusalem, and they want to take over all that area. It was just a plan of expansion. You have to understand, Israel is a state of expansionism. It's a country that steals land and replaces the native population. And I'm going to tell you, there's a saying in Arabic: never build your home on a dry riverbed, because eventually the river will come and reclaim its place. The river will eventually come and become a river again. So that's my message. So the ceasefire with Lebanon was done because Israel was taking a lot of losses, and Israel has a strategic policy to never show how many casualties they have. If 10 are killed, only 2. If 100 are injured, only 20. If they would get, the helicopters were going every day to pick them up. You ever see that show MASH? It was the same thing. That's why Israel is a coward state, and they'll always be. And they will never win a ground war, because they don't have the stomach to die in a battlefield, because you're not fighting for what is yours. You're fighting for what is somebody else. The person who's invading never has the stomach to fight the same as the one being invaded. So the Israeli, the Jews in Israel, the Ashkenazi Jews. I'm not saying the Arab Jews. They are alien to the region. They're alien to Palestine, and they will eventually go home. Eventually, they will go home, and they will not, because this is not a state. I want to show you a lot of people wonder why Israel shows so much Netanyahu and his government, why they hit civilian areas. This is called something the Iron Wall essay or theory by a guy named Dovsky from Lithuania. Imagine, from Russia, who told the Jews how to fight in Palestine if they want to succeed against the. This is in 1919 or 1923. We're gonna watch a video of this. Don't get bored, but if you want to be educated, stay here. If you want to become stupid, just go watch. If you want to be a stupid guy, go watch the idiots who lie to you every day about stuff. You have to educate yourself, my friends. You understand? Okay, let's see. All right, here's the evil Davisky. We're gonna listen to it. This is called the Iron Wall theory. That's what Israel operates until today. 100 years later, because it was written in 1920. The Israeli military still operates under the direction of this guy, of what he said, what it takes. We're gonna listen to what he has to say, and we're gonna talk about it. Let's go.
Jabotinsky, The Iron Wall, 1923. 1. There can be no voluntary agreement between ourselves and the Palestine Arabs. It is utterly impossible to obtain the voluntary consent of the Palestine Arabs for converting Palestine from an Arab country into a country with a Jewish majority.
Fuck you.
2. My readers have a general idea of the history of colonization in other countries. I suggest that they consider all the precedents with which they are acquainted, and see whether there is one solitary instance of any colonization being carried on with the consent of the native population. There is no such precedent. The native populations, civilized or uncivilized, have always stubbornly resisted the colonists, irrespective of whether they were civilized or savage. And it made no difference whatever whether the colonists behaved decently.
What he's saying is that it doesn't matter if you are going to colonize. He called people savage, like people like the native Indians, like people in Africa who are people who lived off the land, or nomads, or Bedouins, or people in actual cities. Like Palestine was a metropolis city before these people came. You understand? So what he's saying is it's the same thing. You have to treat them the same. No native population going to give up their country or their territory for the sake of giving it up. This is kind of psychotic what this person is saying. You know, excuse my nose, man. All of these, go ahead. Okay, let's listen to what he has to say. Please listen. This is what the Israeli army operates under until today still.
Or not. 3. This is equally true of the Arabs. Our peacemongers are trying to persuade us that the Arabs
peacemongers,
are
he called them,
whom we can deceive by masking our real aims, or that they are corrupt and can be bribed to abandon to us their claim to priority in Palestine, in return for cultural and economic advantages. I repudiate this conception of the Palestinian Arabs. 4. We may tell them whatever we like about the innocence of our aims, watering them down and sweetening them with honeyed words to make them palatable.
Listen.
But they know what we want, as well as we know what they do not want. They feel at least the same instinctive jealous love of Palestine, as the old Aztecs felt for ancient Mexico, and the Sioux for their rolling prairies.
Yes, their country.
5. To imagine, as our Arabophiles do, that they will voluntarily consent to the realization of Zionism, in return for the moral and material conveniences which the Jewish colonist brings with him, is a childish notion, which has at bottom a kind of contempt for the Arab people. It means that they despise the Arab race, which they regard as a corrupt mob that can be bought and sold, and are willing to give up their fatherland for a good railway system. There is no justification for such a belief. It may be that some individual Arabs take bribes. But that does not mean that the Arab people of Palestine as a whole will sell that fervent patriotism that they guard so jealously, and which even...
This is in 1921. This is a person in Russia. He has no relationship to Palestine, no relationship to the region. He has nothing to do, but he's given the directive how to deal with the native population in Palestine. And he's saying, don't try to trick them with sweets and economic and try to be nice to them. You have to show force. You have to kill them in masses. You have to destroy their homes. You have to put fear in their hearts for you to achieve the Israeli state.
And the Papuans will never sell. 6. Every native population in the world resists colonists as long as it has the slightest hope of being able to rid itself of the danger of being colonized. 7. There is only one thing the Zionists want, and it is that one thing that the Arabs do not want, for that is the way by which the Jews would gradually become the majority, and then a Jewish government would follow automatically, and the future of the Arab minority would depend on the goodwill of the Jews.
The
And a
goodwill.
minority status is not a good thing, as the Jews themselves are never tired of pointing out. So there is no misunderstanding. 8. The Zionists want only one thing, Jewish immigration, and this Jewish immigration is what the Arabs do not want. 9. Colonization carries its own explanation, the only possible explanation, unalterable and as clear as daylight to every ordinary Jew and every ordinary Arab. Colonization can have only one aim, and Palestine Arabs cannot accept this aim. It lies.
You see, this guy, this is 100 years ago. He's telling you colonization. He's not saying we're going to go back to our land, Moses and all that stuff. Moses didn't even enter Jerusalem in the Bible. He died outside of Jerusalem. That's how hateful he was of them, man. They were so fucking stiff-necked. So this guy 100 years ago, he's telling you that the actual aim of Jews from Eastern Europe and Western Europe is to colonize Palestine, and not to think they're going to take it easy or they're going to accept it. Eventually, what he's telling them is force must be used, murder and mayhem and destruction of towns and villages and expulsion, rape, everything has to happen for the Palestinians to fear and run away, and we take over their land. Because people say, well, the Jews bought land with money. Okay, in 1948, when Israel declared its independence, the Jewish refugees in Palestine only owned 6% of the land. So when the United Nations comes out of nowhere and say, well, you can have 56%. So what do people do with their homes and their land? Oh, the Arabs were given two-state solution and they refused. Yeah, I'm going to give you my home. This it is. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the propaganda. The Zionists are working 24 hours to work in divisiveness, to create havoc, to do a lot of crazy shit, like the thing that happened in Amsterdam with the soccer. That was planned, like the race riots in England with the Tommy Robinson. He's a stooge. He did that to sideline the British from the Palestinian protesting every week, and it worked. You don't see people. They used to come every weekend. 1 million British used to come out for Palestine. He created those race issues, and they stopped. Good.
Lies in the very nature of things, and in this particular regard nature cannot be changed. 10. We cannot offer any adequate compensation to the Palestinian Arabs in return for Palestine.
Okay, so Palestine.
There is no likelihood of any voluntary agreement being reached. 11. Zionist colonization must either stop, or else proceed regardless of the native population.
Kill them.
Which means that it can proceed and develop only under the protection of a power that is independent of the native population, behind an iron wall.
Iron wall of guns and machine guns.
Which the native population cannot breach. That is our Arab policy, not what we should be, but what it actually is, whether we admit it or not. What need, otherwise, of the Balfour Declaration? Or of the mandate?
Okay, evil, eh?
Their
Evil,
value to us is that outside power has undertaken to create in the country such conditions of administration and security that if the native population should desire to hinder our work, they will find it impossible. 12. And we are all of us without any exception, demanding day after day that this outside power should carry out this task vigorously and with determination.
That's what they're doing right now.
In this matter there is no difference between our militarists and our vegetarians. Except that the first prefer that the iron wall should consist of Jewish soldiers, and the others are content that they should be British. We all demand that there should be an iron wall. 13. In the second place, this does not mean that there cannot be any agreement with the Palestine Arabs.
Okay.
What is impossible is a voluntary agreement. As long as the Arabs feel that there is the least hope of getting rid of us, they will refuse to give up this hope in return for either kind words or for bread and butter, because they are not a rabble, but a living people.
See, at least he recognized that the Palestinians were not people like what Netanyahu likes to say. Oh, we came a people without a land to a land without people. There was nothing there. It was desert. Even the head of the European Parliament said that. That fucking piece of shit. Why would you lie? I have videos of Christians going to church. Hundreds of Christians, they have the churches and the bells and Muslims. It was Palestine and Jerusalem was a metropolis city. They had manholes for sewage. And this guy, at least he recognized that, but he's telling you, listen, kind words, they're not going to get rid of the Palestinian, nice food, or we give them economic reason, or we build them a railroad someplace else. They're not going to be willing to give up their country. So we have to be behind the iron wall. The iron wall is F-35s, F-15s, F-16, and America's best weapons to kill the Palestinians.
And when a living people yields in matters of such a vital character, it is only when there is no longer any hope of getting rid of us, because they can make no breach in the iron wall. 14. The only way to obtain such an agreement is the iron wall, which is to say a strong power in Palestine that is not amenable to any Arab pressure. In other words, the only way to reach an agreement in the future is to abandon all idea of seeking an agreement at present. 15.
No peace treaty.
But it is absurd to expect the Arabs to have the mentality of an impartial judge, for in this conflict they are not the judges, but one of the contending parties.
Yes, their land.
And after all, our chief question is whether the Arabs, even if they believed in peaceful collaboration, they would agree to have any neighbors, even good neighbors, in the country which they regard as their own.
16. It is theirs, not yours.
So why should a nation that is perfectly content with its isolation admit to its country even good neighbors in any considerable number? I want neither your honey nor your sting, is a reasonable answer. 17. Let us consider for a moment the point of view of those to whom this seems immoral. We shall trace the root of the evil to this, that we are seeking to colonize a country against the wishes of its population, in other words, by force.
You heard it? He said it. What we're doing is we're going to colonize a country against his will, by force. You see, it's not that Zionist BS you hear on CNN and SNBC. Oh, the poor people. This is before the Holocaust. Oh, the poor people. This is before they declared the state. This is 30 years before there was in Israel. They were working on this. You understand what I'm saying here? This is 28 years before they declared the state of Israel. We are colonizing a country by force against his will. That's what we're going to do. And we're not going to use honey or anything. We're going to use the iron wall is weaponry from the British Empire. And mind you, these people used to come to Palestine as refugees. In the 1930s, when Hitler was going crazy in Europe and they were killing these people, no country, the United States, why do you think they have the word of the final solution? It's not because they just came up with it, because nobody will take the Jews in Europe. England, all the European countries refused to take the German Jews. And the Americans refused too. They have a story of the St. Louis ship that came full of Jews, and they returned, I think, from New York. I don't know what port, and they returned, and they said they died. I don't believe, Zionist propaganda. They always dramatize shit like movies. They're always thinking about movies. But Palestine, the Palestinian, when the Jews used to come from Eastern Europe, running away from the scourges of European racism and pogroms in Russia, they used to take them in and let them live in their houses. There are stories of where these Jews who lived in the second floor or first floor of their houses in 1948, they kicked the people who took them in by the gun and took the whole house. You see, they have no gratitude. They don't any gratitude. Is that the word? Yeah, gratitude toward the people who took them in their time of need. Now they're killing their children and their grandchildren. They're killing it in mass murder. They murder them. 20,000 murdered. These are the great grandkids of the people who took you in as refugees, who opened their homes, who fed you, who clothed you, who said, welcome, stay here with us. You know, let's live together. Come. Europe doesn't want you. We'll take you. You understand? But you don't hear Zionists will say that, well, the Arabs, you know, they're actually, Netanyahu actually one time said in a speech that Hitler didn't want to kill the Jews if it wasn't for the Palestinian mufti. Actually, it was the fault of the Palestinian. He actually gave a pass to Hitler of the Holocaust in order to blame the Palestinians. Man. Unbelievable shit. Talk, man. What happened to you? Good. The whiskey. I think it's finished, right? Is it? Oh.
Different country to colonize.
Oh, I hit the wrong.
Like Uganda. But if we look more closely into the matter, we shall find that the same evil exists there too.
Evil.
Uganda also has a native population, which...
Because I'm sorry, because the first time the British, they were offering them any country in the world. You want Uganda? You want Argentina? It's like a mall. What country you want? We're going to give it to you. Where do you want to live? And we're going to get rid of the natives and just give it to you. Why don't you give them a state in Europe? You have a lot of land. That's it. They were only like, what, 4 million, 5 million, 10 million? They have European values. They dress as Europeans. They think as Europeans. They are scholars, and they were very educated people. I mean, the Germans did the dumbest shit they ever did. They got rid of their scientists. The future of Germany would have been the master of the world without the wars. Because they killed their Jewish citizens. Many of them were scientists, teachers, physics, mathematicians, Einsteins. Look at our NATO, our NASA program was made by Germans. But, you know, it's a shame that they lost these opportunities. But the problem is they are giving them country like they're giving out, candy and stuff. Okay, you want Uganda? Well, which one? Uganda, they have a native population. They're savages over there. They're still walking around naked over there. We can't take that. We want Palestine. Good.
Consciously or unconsciously, as in every other instance in history, will resist the coming of the colonizers. 19. There are no more uninhabited islands in the world. In every oasis there is a native population settled from times immemorial, who will not tolerate an immigrant majority or an invasion of outsiders. 20.
Outsiders.
A voluntary reconciliation with the Arabs is out of the question either now or in the future. If you wish to colonize a land in which people are already living, you must provide a garrison for the land, or find some rich man or benefactor who will provide a garrison on your behalf.
America.
Or else give up your colonization, for without an armed force which will render...
You see what he said? Either you have a garrison, either you have a strong military, or you can get a higher one. We got the United States or the other. Holy cow.
They're physically impossible any attempt to destroy or prevent this colonization. Colonization is impossible, not difficult, not dangerous, but impossible. 21. Zionism is a colonization adventure and therefore it stands or falls by the question of armed force.
Zionism is a colonial, project of adventure. It will live only and fall by the power of his guns. I gotta write that down. Whoever's watching, this is the craziest shit I've ever heard. This guy was telling the truth. Good.
It is important to speak Hebrew, but, unfortunately, it is even more important to be able to shoot, or else I am through with playing at colonizing.
Wow, that was the last one you did, you piece of shit, huh? He said it's important to speak Hebrew. I'm sorry, man. I was not seeing your comment, man. You know, because I put on the whole screen because I just had surgery in my eyes. So one eye is working, the other is not. Let me see what you say, brother. Who's this? Was not watching the comments. I'm sorry. She brew. What the hell is that? What's up, man? I know what you wrote. I know what you wrote, man. What you wrote? She brew. Hebrew. Oh, Hebrew. Hebrew. You saw what this guy was saying. This is in 1923. He admitted to the fact that Zionism is a colonial adventure that will live by the gun or die by the gun. In other words, it is not an easy task. It's an impossible task. He even said it was an impossible. And eventually, my friends, it will collapse. With God's help, Israel will eventually cease to exist because it is built on a lie. When you build something on a lie, it eventually self-destructs in a lie. I don't know what you're saying. I can't see that far. And I can't be okay. So we heard this guy was named Davisky, or who gives it? He's one of the skis, huh? Even Netanyahu's name. Netanyahu's last name is not it's not Davisky. It's not Netanyahu. All right, so we saw this. Now let's see what we got next. So we were talking about the ceasefire, right? So I showed you first that the idea that about how Israel, from its 28 years or 30 years before it was born, the whole idea was we have to kill the NATO population. There is you can't negotiate with them. That's why Israel would negotiate with Saudi Arabia, with Jordan, with Egypt. They negotiate with everybody except the people they are killing for their homes and their land. And it's a shame that we as a country, the United States, are supporting such a genocide that's going on over there. You know, it is a shame, man. Our people are not thinking. Anyway, what's up, man? Oh, I know how to read this. Let me just look over here. What do you read over there? Tara Strange. What's up, man? Sheber, I think U.S. Christian should take what? Should take all. Yeah, but the United States is not able to do anything. The Israeli lobby and the Israeli politicians and the Jewish politician and Jewish money is very strong. As a matter of fact, you have the Christian Zionists. They give $100 to $200 million a year to Israel. Instead of giving money to the Christians in Palestine, the Christian communities are dying, and they are immigrating from Jerusalem, from Nazareth, from Beit Lahm, from all that, due to the indifference of their brothers in the United States. The Christian Zionists are more than the Jewish Zionists. They have about 30-40 million American Christian Zionists. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. What's that? You see? Okay, I don't want to see that. Okay, this is Joe Biden.
Live as refugees in their own country, helplessly watching their homes, their business.
Hold on. This is Joe Biden. He came out to claim that he actually brokered a ceasefire between Lebanon and the Lebanese
Good afternoon. Today.
Good afternoon. I was asleep and I just woke up. I was in a coma. They just gave me 12 pills. What do you call it? I gotta fix this. Hold on. Somebody's moving their hand. Let me fix the sound. Okay, hold on.
Hezbollah.
Okay. You didn't do shit, okay? Just shut up. You didn't do shit. Okay. Hold on. Let me fix this. I don't want to show Joe Biden. I want to see myself. I'm more important than Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? I am more important than Joe Biden is. Because that creep, he could not do nothing, right? All right. What's going on over here? Okay. No. Why? I keep on forgetting what I did, man. Okay, that's no good. That's no good. Definitely no good. Definitely no good. Oh, man, come on, man. Yeah, I like that. All right, this is Joe Biden. He came out to take credit for the ceasefire that happened What's up, my brother? That happened in bang. As I say, bang. The Jews do know how to make that money. Well, it's not that they know how to make money. It is. It's called. The Jews have been. They are successful. First of all, they are very educated. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. They invest a lot in education, and they have generational wealth. They went to banking in Europe because of the usury, because the Christian did not charge interest, so the Jews used to charge interest, and always the same thing used to work. They'll come to a country, they'll lend money, become very rich, become the elites. After a while, they get jealous and they kick them out from country to country. The same thing used to happen, repeat itself. Now I don't have nothing against being Jewish and rich. It's okay. I mean, rich is rich. I mean, or being well organized or have a lot of power. But the issue is when you are able to co-sign genocide and you're going to use that money and that influence to continue to kill innocent children from my people. The Palestinians are my people. Okay. They are my children. They are my mothers. They are my grandmothers. They are my sisters. They are my cousins. But nobody will say that. These are my people. You understand? Of course, I feel the pain when I see them being murdered, and when I see American Jewish progressives not doing nothing. Sleepy Joe, let's see what he has to say. Watch. He's going to come out and take credit for something he did not do. I'm going to swear on everything I love. I'm going to swear on my kids that this guy did not do anything. That Israel decided that it had enough of taking a beating in the battlefield. Let's listen to a couple of minutes and then get rid of him. This is Sleepy Joe, came out of the cave, whatever he's living under. There we go. They had him walk from there. You know, he hates Palestinians. He said that alone.
Good afternoon.
All right.
Today I have some good news to report from the Middle East.
Okay.
I just spoke with the Prime Minister of Israel and Lebanon.
Yes.
I'm pleased to announce that their governments have accepted the United States proposal to end the devastating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah.
Yeah.
I want to thank President Macron of France for his partnership in reaching this moment. For nearly 14 months, a deadly conflict raged across the border that separates Israel and Lebanon.
What? Even in his speech, he'll still give leeway to Israel. He has to do it. He has no choice. American politics, they don't own themselves.
Conflict that began the day after the October 7 attack by Hamas on Israel.
See?
Hours later, at 2 a.m. in the morning, Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations backed by Iran attacked Israel in support of Hamas.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Israel did not launch this war.
Okay.
The Lebanese people did not seek that war either.
He wants to isolate
Nor did
Hezbollah.
the United States. Over the past year, including the days immediately following October the 7th, I directed the U.S. military to flow assets and capabilities into the region.
We know that.
Including aircraft carriers,
Everything.
fighter squadrons,
Everything.
sophisticated air defense.
Even a nuclear submarine. He actually sent a nuclear submarine to the Mediterranean Sea as if Hamas has nuclear weapons. This is the problem with our country here in the United States is we have an organization called AIPAC. Now, AIPAC is not a foreign entity. It's not registered as a foreign entity, a lobbying group. It is a domestic Jewish lobbying group. It spends $100 million or more to pick winners and losers in the U.S. congressional and Senate races or local races. Before, they never did it directly. They always use like second party, like PACs. They like, oh, give this guy this, give this guy. But they changed they changed their bylaws and their whatever it is you want to call it. Now they are giving, and they're boasting about it. They said, listen, we had 99.9% success in electing who you wanted. They got rid of 2 black politicians, Jamal Bowman from New York, because he said there's a genocide in Israel, in Gaza. And they got rid of Carrie Bush in Missouri because she said there's a genocide in Gaza. Because if you tell the truth and you don't take our money, we're going to get rid of you. Now, the problem I have with that is this is what Zionists do. Though it's a Jewish lobby, but it's still a Zionist entity. What they do is Zionism feeds on anti-Semitism. So when AIPAC boasts about what it's doing, a lot of animosity is going to be toward American Jews. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? You spend $100 million on our local election? I mean, what are you doing here? Huh? Then, if that hatred develops into anti-Semitism, they hope that the Jews will flee from America to Israel. That's why they did the Amsterdam thing. Remember with the hoodlums? That was well orchestrated. Why would you bring 200 young kids from Israel to run around a European capital and then scream out anti-Semitism? You know why? Because there's a problem. There's a lot of Jews who are migrating from Israel to European countries such as Portugal, the Netherlands. They're leaving Israel and selling everything and just moving back to Europe. So they want to say, look, you see? They hate us. Look how they attacked our kids. And you're going to go over there? You see what they're doing in Amsterdam? Oh, my gosh. Anti-Semitism is all over the place. And it wasn't. The hoodlums, the young Israeli kids or young men, whatever you want to call them, as soon as they got to Amsterdam, they're yelling death to the Arabs. Gaza has no more school because all their kids are dead. In order to incite the local Arab population, so they're going to beat the daylight out of them, which they did, they started attacking taxi drivers who are mostly Arabs or Middle Eastern. You saw what they were doing. And they had these videos, and even the New York Times had to delete their stories because it was all lies. That was the whole shtick they had in Amsterdam. That was the whole thing that they did. It was all a game. It was all a show. These people, this is Hollywood, man. They make great movies. my Jewish cousins, they make great movies, man. Let's listen to Sleepy Joe. He's not even sleepy. He's Zombie Joe. Lie to yourself what you did. Yeah, lie to us. You didn't do shit.
Israel and deter our common enemy at critical moments. Since the war with Hezbollah began, over 70,000 Israelis have been forced to live as refugees in their own country.
And there's about 2 million Palestinians who have been uplifted and are living refugees in a 350 square mile area that they are dying and starved to death deliberately. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. Well, the lady's moving her hand.
Imposed on them by Hezbollah.
All right.
All told, this has been the deadliest conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in decades.
They took a beating, those Israeli soldiers.
How many of Hezbollah's senior leaders are dead, including its longtime leader, Nasrallah? And Israel destroyed Hezbollah's terrorist infrastructure in southern Lebanon as well, including miles of sophisticated tunnels, which were prepared for an October 7th style terrorist attack in northern Israel. But lasting security for the people of Israel and Lebanon cannot be achieved only on the battlefield. And that's why I directed my team to work with the governments of Israel and Lebanon to forge a ceasefire, to bring the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah to a close. Under the deal reached today, effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time.
I swear to God, I swear to everything I love that the United States had nothing to do. They didn't broker anything. It's only the Israeli military realized they are being beat. Their soldiers are taking a beating. The Israeli coward soldiers are not able to fight face to face on the ground. They're not built for that. You understand? They are not built to fight face to face with them. So they say, listen, we already killed, like he said, their senior leaders. Let's come out with that W and leave before we get a bigger L than we're getting right now. It is what it is, and that is the truth. Good.
The fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end.
All right.
Will end.
Yeah.
This will end. Will end. Be a permanent cessation of hostilities.
No way. It's not permanent.
What is left of Hezbollah and other terrorist organizations will not be allowed. Well, I emphasize, will not be allowed to threaten the security of Israel again. Over the next 60 days, the Lebanese army and state security forces will deploy and take control of their own territory once again. Hezbollah terrorist infrastructure in southern Lebanon will not be allowed to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
And over the next 60 days, Israel will gradually withdraw its remaining forces. And civilians on both sides will soon be able to safely return to their communities and begin to rebuild their homes,
It's not going to work.
schools, their farms, their businesses, and their very lives.
All right.
We're determined this conflict will not be just another cycle of violence. And so the United States, with the full support of France and our other allies, has pledged to work with Israel and Lebanon to ensure that this arrangement is.
All right, get on my face. You didn't do shit. You didn't do no ceasefire. You didn't even know what was going on. If you were able to do ceasefire or broker anything, you'll have brokered a ceasefire inside in Gaza, where it's really needed, where people are dying every day. Every day, 40, 50 people are getting killed in Gaza. Because, like I showed you, the Iron Wall theory is you have to kill the native population. The problem with what's going on in Lebanon, the Israeli soldiers, they're cowards. They can't fight in the trenches, like in the Vietnam-style war or an Afghanistan-style war. They can't fight. They only do is they use overwhelming force, kill civilians, destroy civilian homes, a collective punishment of the civilian populations in order to squeeze concussions, I don't know, one of those words, from the military on the ground, because they know they cannot win in a regular war. Let's go to someone more. This is what's this?
A new military aid package for Kyiv.
Okay. This is the weapons that we've been given to Israel. Okay.
The Pentagon has quietly ramped up weapons shipments that are headed for Israel. And I say quietly because there are some transparency concerns, with the Biden White House under pressure to disclose the extent of its deliveries to Congress.
Air defense and artillery rocket system, tanks, infantry fighting vehicles, helicopters, unmanned aerial systems. That is just some of the U.S.
Israeli military general said that Israel will not have lasted 3 weeks with Hamas if the United States did not do a bridge of weaponry from Europe and the United States to Israel. 24 hours a day, weapons were coming in, and munition, especially munition, they will not last. That's why that guy Dvorsky said either you're going to have a strong your own garrison of strength, or a borrowed one. That means the United States is a borrowed gun to continue the colonization.
Military assistance provided to Ukraine. A detailed list of weapons is released with every new military aid package for Kyiv. Why is Washington not doing the same with weapons for Israel?
We are providing assistance to Israel through very different mechanisms than how we provide assistance to Ukraine. And the funding mechanisms and how we're supplying aid, it's two different countries, two different wars, and again, two different areas of responsibilities.
The Biden administration faces pressure to disclose the extent of U.S. arms in Israel, at least to Congress. In the national security funding requested to Congress, the White House included an exemption for aid to Israel, citing the country's urgent need. The request includes the authority to waive congressional notification requirements, something Washington never requested for Ukraine.
To waive American law.
This means the Israeli government would be able to purchase billions in military articles and services in complete secrecy. Israel is the world's largest cumulative recipient of U.S. aid, and support for Israel's security has been a cornerstone of American foreign policy. But with Israel's intense bombing of the Gaza Strip, scrutiny on the role the U.S. is playing is also increasing.
It is absolutely critical that Congress is able to review, to have transparency on all of the weapons that are going, so that it can determine,
anything but Israel,
as it appropriates funds to taxpayer funds, frankly, to continue to buy these weapons that they're used for, the urgent defense needs, but that are not used in ways that contravene U.S. laws, policies, or international law on waging war.
As accusations grow that the U.S. government is not complying with its conventional arms transfer policy, Some Democrats are talking of conditioning future U.S. military aid to Israel. If that
What a
happens,
joke.
the pressure on
You're gonna
President
condition
Biden to
nothing.
take a more critical look at America's military support for Israel will only increase.
I want to pull in now Clayton Allen. He's director for the United States at Eurasia Group and joins me from Washington,
no
D.C.
power.
Clayton, it's good to have you with us tonight. What do you think is
No, we gotta
behind
give
this
this Trump.
double standard? Arms to Ukraine are publicly declared, military assistance to Israel shrouded in secrecy.
First, thank you for having me. I think that the difference here has less to do with Israel and more to do with Ukraine, actually.
You heard what? Shut up. The guy is just. We are secretly sending weapons to Israel to bypass congressional approval, which by law Congress has to approve any licenses of weapons to any state in the world, and Israel is violating the United States law by using weapons against civilian targets and killing men and women and children. And we have something called the Leahy law, whatever it's called, that forbids the transfer of any more weapons to any country in the world that uses Americans' weapons to destroy civilian infrastructures and to kill men and women and children. It counts for everybody except, guess what, Israel, because Israel has a stranglehold on the United States diplomat and diplomacy and internal politics, and it just we're Israel's bitch. Let me just put it that way. America is Israel's bitch. Okay, I mean, let's be honest with each other here.
Ukrainian aid is extraordinary. It was all supplemental funding requests, standalone bills that go beyond normal baseline funding, and it's been relatively politically sensitive. Republicans, both members of Congress and Republican voters, have been somewhat skeptical of the need for ongoing very high levels of U.S. aid. And as the war in Ukraine has continued on, that's led to very high levels of transparency in what exactly is being sent.
Okay.
That's more to mollify domestic political concerns. The practice of not disclosing specific military aid or amounts of armament being sent to Israel is actually a continuation of relatively long-standing U.S. policy. So I'd highlight the political sensitivity around approving or even sustaining.
So the question was about Israel. He's talking about Ukraine. What the hell was that? What was that? Three-card Monte here?
As the primary difference or the primary reason for that difference in transparency.
So the lack of transparency with aid going to Israel, you're saying it's correct. There's nothing new. Do we have any idea what type of weapons are being delivered to Israel?
Nope.
We only have limited information. I would echo some of the concerns that some of the notes that you highlighted earlier, that, there's a wide range of weapon systems that have been sold to Israel or been sent to Israel in years past. Air defense, precision guided munitions, small diameter bombs. We know that those have been sent. Those have been highlighted.
There's a law in America on the books there's a law. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to put it out, that any new weapon the United States make, Israel has to have access to that weapon. American Congressional Congress made a law to hold the United States culpable. If any new weapon is developed by the United States, Israel must have access to that weapon. I swear to God, what I'm saying is true. What I'm telling you is true. I'm not making this stuff up. When I talk to you from this channel, I'm not trying to use propaganda or trying to score points against the Israelis or anything like that. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not trying to score points, because if you go to an Israeli channel or one of these horse face, like the horse face Lorna Box or that Cockhole Destiny and all these fucking ridiculous, whatever you want to call them, Brianna Wu and all these idiots all over the world, they're trying to score points because they're propagandists. What I'm telling you is what's happening is real. It's the truth. We are beholden to a foreign country. A country of 7 million has a stranglehold over 330 million Americans, the strongest country in world history. I don't know, man.
The Pentagon, I think the open question is what other things are being sent. One area of particular concern that's been highlighted by members of Congress and by the administration itself is small arms. There were some reports that the U.S. might constrain or limit shipments of small arms that were being sent out to
Settles.
Israeli security forces
No.
unless there was additional.
These weapons, see, he's you see the word, this guy's a propaganda. He's saying Israeli security forces. The United States is going to give you an F-35 houses and F-15 and F-16, but they're going to be cheap on you with small weapons like the FM, the AR-15, all these. You know why? Because these weapons are going to the settlers who are attacking the Palestinians in the West Banks and taking their villages. As a matter of fact, 2 to 3 days ago, they burned down 20 cars, pogroms. Whatever happened to the Jews in Eastern Europe, they're doing it to the Palestinians in Palestine. Unbelievable.
Oversight or clarity offered in exactly who was ending up with those weapons.
Settlers.
So there's a wide range of things being sent, but we don't have any specifics on what exactly that consists of.
Well, Israel remains the largest recipient of U.S. military aid. The Biden administration recently requested that certain congressional oversight rules regarding weapon sales to Israel, that those rules be waived. Do we know why?
I'm starving.
It's really a matter of expedience. That's the White House's argument here. Congressional notification and review requirements add some amount of time. It might be weeks. It could, in some cases, be months, and in certain instances has been years of review and potential delay in weapons being sent. The Biden administration included a request to waive those provisions for Israel specifically, I think to avoid the risk that any future aid package, once you've approved an overall amount of aid funding, you break it up into packages later on, to avoid the risk that any one of those future aid packages might be delayed. That's the best argument that we can kind of come up with, the best reasoning we can come up with for why that was included.
And there is some pushback coming from both Republicans and Democrats in Congress. They want to pin aid in both of these conflicts to funding in domestic issues. I'm talking about border security, the border between the U.S. and Mexico. Could this trigger a policy shift, in your opinion, for the government?
It absolutely could. The negotiations around
Sorry about that, guy. I had to order some food, man. I'm starving. Anyway, guys, I was going to talk about Ethan, Ethan Klein, the fucking idiot and all that stuff. I just don't have the energy that these guys stays 4, 5, 6 hours in front of a camera. I got to eat, man. I'm shaking. Before I collapse. Anyway, to put everything in place here, and to put I had more clips I wanted to show you is that the reason for the ceasefire is not because Joe Biden did it or because we needed it. It's because Israel's infantry ground forces were taking a great beating on the ground. They were being defeated by Hezbollah's fighters. Hezbollah fighters are great fighters. They're great trainers, and they want to die. You can't fight somebody who's not scared of dying. While the Israeli soldier is 18, 19 years old, he has a beautiful girlfriend in Tel Aviv. He probably wants to go watch the newest movie that's coming out the movie theater. He plays what is it called? Xbox, whatever it is. Anyway, guys, man, I gotta go, man. I'm starving, man. I am. I just can't take it. Anyway, I hope we had a good show. Whoever hears this, join the channel, become part of us, man. Always comment, man. We want you to comment. When we do a show, I need you to comment to know I'm doing all right, I need to know that. You cannot just do stuff and la 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 la. All right. I don't know what happened to me. I just have the screen. It's okay. It is what it is. Until we meet next time, my brothers and sisters. This is Omar from the third. I can't see from here to the computer. I just had my eye done. I could read like a camera. Oh, God, thank God for that. I could read at my phone. You know what I'm saying? I love you all, but all I want to do is...